everyone, welcome to this edition. Coming up next on the Pro Wrestling Show, we talk about predict the outcome for WWE SummerSlam, the biggest part of the summer, but it has a new catchphrase, new tagline called "You Never See It Coming." Plus, we'll have the latest on hot topics, as we heard that Renee Young is leaving WWE. WWE about to debut the Thunderdome you saw on SmackDown, and tonight on SummerSlam, and a lot more. As all new Pro Wrestling Show presents Predict the Outcome for WWE SummerSlam starts right now. Welcome everyone to the Predict the Outcome for WWE SummerSlam Pro Wrestling Show special. I'm your host as always, Kid Dix here. Glad you can join us here. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend. Don't forget to call a friend, tell a friend, subscribe. Subscribe is caring. And use the hashtag, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. On this Sunday morning, thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, SummerSlam is here as we talk about the biggest part of the summer with spectacular match cards. Out of nowhere, 8 matches. I think 4 championship matches, including 2 world titles, including the tag titles. So hey, like I said, let's get to the first half of the SummerSlam Predict the Outcome here. All right, man, you know that coming up is the Raw Tag Team Championship match, where the Street Profits defend the Raw Tag Team titles against Andrade and Angel Garza. Now, we know that it's been a lot of shenanigans going on with Zelina Vega. Now, during the match when Angel Garza, I think it was Angel Garza versus Montez Ford. Montez felt a little bit woozy with Shawn Michaels in 1995. And he was just out and collapsed. You know, Montez's wife, Bianca Belair, that's right as she should, was concerned and took it out, and she knew that Zelina Vega had something to do with Zelina Vega acting like she didn't know what she was talking about. Well, you know, a lot of retribution, revenge as Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega had their match, and then Montez had his match against Andrade, and they said Montez would be back and would be ready back than ever. Now we find out who the culprit was this past Monday on Raw. And the culprit was Zelina Vega. She drugged something in Montez Ford's cup. And Montez Ford getting his revenge on Andrade and the rest of them. So this is a match that's turned personal for the World Tag Team titles on Raw. Now, I don't know if I'm a betting man. I believe, everybody might be against it, but I believe Andrade and Angel Garza will leave SummerSlam as the Raw Tag Team Champions. Now, the Street Profits had their run, they had a decent run, but it's time for Andrade and Angel Garza to take center stage and look for Zelina Vega to be the manager of the Tag Team Champions going forward. Now, we knew Andrade and Angel had problems, but they kind of put those problems aside and focus on one. And have you seen on Raw that Angel Garza become quite a ladies' man, if you ask me, one that gets flirting with the girl from The Bachelorette. So look for Andrade and Angel Garza to be becoming the new Raw Tag Team Champions out of SummerSlam. Also at SummerSlam, another grudge match that is so personal. So, you know what? I'm talking about Dominic Mysterio making his debut at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins. Now, this goes way back when Ray and Seth Rollins was in their feud, and it escalated at Extreme Rules when Seth Rollins extracted Rey Mysterio eye in the eye versus eye for an eye match. And Dominic wanted revenge and retribution. Dominic took a lot of revenge and retribution from Seth Rollins and Murphy. So now Dominic and Seth Rollins go toe to toe. Now we know that Dominic got the last served revenge this past week when him and his father came on Raw and used those kendo sticks after Seth Rollins and Murphy did to Dominic with their huge, massive kendo sticks. So it's a street fight between these two men. Dominic looking to make his debut at SummerSlam, just like his father did almost in 2002 SummerSlam. Man, time going by fast and time flies. That's almost 20 years ago. Wow. Whew. We're talking about that. So I look at Seth Rollins to win this match. Dominic is inexperienced, but he'll get there. But this is his first debut match as a superstar against Seth Rollins. And look for Ray being in his corner, and look for Murphy being in his corner, look for some outside interference. But Seth Rollins gonna manage to win the match some way, somehow by cheating or doing something devastating. Also devastating to the nation is Apollo Crews defends his United States Championship against Montavious Porter, known as MVP. MVP has his entourage known as the Hurt Business with Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in his corner. Shelton Benjamin won the 24/7 championship over R-Truth. Shelton Benjamin playing hot potato with the 24/7 tie with R-Truth. But MVP wants to be the United States champion. He said he personally brought the new design belt that Apollo Crews is carrying. He wants that lineage. He wants to be a two-time, I don't know how many times MVP, a three-time U.S. champion. MVP has his shot this Sunday. Well, I look at it like this. MVP got a game of membership this week on Raw when it was a six-man tag team match and Pent Crews. So MVP could have a way of winning. So I'm gonna go off a limb and say MVP will win this match at SummerSlam, become the United States champion, and finally they can get the push to Ali, because Ali deserved a push. He deserved a push some way, somehow. Ali deserves a push. So you know how they go. Also, Mandy Rose, the goddess. You know, she's the average goddess now. Well, she goes one-on-one against her former best friend Sonya Deville in a unique match that many people never thought would happen between these best friends. Now it's going to happen in a hair versus hair match. These two women know each other's strengths and stuff. They was even contestants on Tough Enough back in 2015. So now, 5 years later, these women are tearing each other apart, cat fight, limb to limb, and it comes to a head, comes to a conclusion at SummerSlam. So Mandy Rose versus Sonya in the conclusion. I'm going to say Mandy Rose will win because Mandy Rose has to prove herself and has to prove herself against Sonya that she is no eye candy. She can get the job done, and she has this opportunity at SummerSlam to do so. So look for Mandy Rose to win and Sonya Deville be bald head. All right, that ends the first half of our predicted outcome for SummerSlam. We'll have the second half later on. But coming up next, we'll have hot topics to talk about Renee Young leaving the WWE. Wow, you see that coming. That's a SummerSlam moment right there. And many other hot topics we need to get live into. We'll have this at the Pro Wrestling Show return in a minute. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kid Giggs here. Joining in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Show. Just say subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Subscribe here. And don't forget to join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. That's it. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. It's that easy, that simple. We thank you all for watching. Thank you, wrestling fans, once again. We'll have the second half of the predicted outcome for WWE Extreme Rules later. But let's get to hot topics, wrestling hot topics. On wrestling hot topics this week, WWE debuts the Thunderdome in the Amway Center in Orlando, where SummerSlam will preside, but they want to be more fan interactive. They want fans to be around some way. So I guess they want to do like how the NBA is doing with their fan central. WWE state of the art, No one does production better than WWE, ton by none. So WWE with the Thunderdome, if you look phenomenal on SmackDown, you know gonna look phenomenal for SummerSlam and going forward for the rest of the shows. Also, there's been reports that AJ Styles refute claims that he's unhappy with WWE. AJ had to refute the claim that a lot of people say he's unhappy to be in WWE just because what happened with his fellow friends, the Good Brothers, who are now signed to Impact. So the Good Brothers are doing okay on Impact, but they ain't making no need. AJ had to refute the claim. Did you see Abyss? Forgot to mention that Abyss, who Joseph Park, now part of SmackDown. I guess he's been so happy to be on TV for some time. He wanted to be on WWE, and he finally is on WWE TV. So, you know how they go. Also, Sonya Deville, the kidnapped suspect. Now, this is the most sick and disturbing thing I ever saw and heard in my life. Sonya Deville, Sonya Deville is a character on television. And she might be a real life person in real life with her own things, but that's the character that played on TV. Now, this stalker tried to threaten to kill her, and Mandy Rose involved, and Mandy Rose's mother, or Sonya's mother, which the sicko is sick. So, I hope Sonya get the justice she deserves, because that's Sonya as a character. That's not Sonya Deville the person. So we want to, how that go. Also, a former NXT star got arrested this week. Many of you may remember him, Dan Mather. He wasn't, but he was a giant of a man. And he got arrested. Dan Mather. I'm surprised AEW or nobody Impact ain't really got hold of this guy. Ring of Honor. Where they go? Also, speaking of Ring of Honor will resume tapings this week. And they want to bring in a big star from the past. A big star from another promotion. That's from Impact and WWE. Many people are reporting that EC3 has made his way to Impact. Not Impact, but Ring of Honor to do some wrestling or do some promos. So EC3, he said something about honorable or something. So a lot of people saying now he want to go to Ring of Honor. So it makes you wonder, like, what the rest of the stars, like Michael Maria. If Ring of Honor can get Michael Maria back and EC3 in the mix, come on now, they can probably do something. It's like with Impact, they got something, but it's like a water in the pan. It's like they got the stars they got, and they don't know what to do, and they don't even know what with the Good Brothers. It's like, you got the Good Brothers. I give you trying to put, your crew against them and EC3 against Moose. That's good right there. But Moose should be the Impact champion. To be honest, just being honest and being frank. Having going to EC3, that's a match right there. Ed Edwards, defending fighting champion. Ed Edwards, he's good, but he's not. He's like a secondary champion or something. Like, you making the Impact title like a secondary title. Just you know how that go. Also, there's been rumors and reports that Shane McMahon might be replacing Bruce Pritchard as Raw's executive director. Now, this is huge. Shane McMahon thinks outside the box, and Mr. McMahon is kind of considering it. And hey, Shane and the helm on Raw, Raw, he could probably turn a struggling franchise as Raw and flip it up and turn back to the E, the A, and the E, and the W in WWE on Raw. With that little Raw Underground, it's kind of, tracking. It's kind of getting steam. It's gaining steam. So we'll see. And stuff like that. We'll see. Also, NXT head writer leaves the company, so it ain't no big difference, no deal. They'll find another writer and stuff. Also, WWE reported plans for the Forgotten Sons. The Forgotten Sons were supposed to receive a big push, according to Dave Mesler. And now the Forgotten Sons, after Jackson Rod made those comments about supporting Donald Trump as president of the United States, and he's doing a fine job, his fellow members of his Forgotten Sons doesn't think, confirm the way he do. So they're trying to, they're supposed to get a big push, supposed to win the tag team titles from Nakamura, not from the New Day, but eventually that's not going to happen. Also, Xavier, who was the second Ring of Honor champion, has passed away. Everyone's passing away and stuff. Xavier died. Well, he was the second Ring of Honor champion, and they started a GoFundMe account for his son. So, there you go. It's just, whew, oh, man. Man. Also, big news coming out that Renee Young is leaving WWE. Now, many people are reporting that Renee Young is leaving because she had COVID. She got that carefree spirit, don't care. WWE management was not happy with her announcing the news, and they started to trigger with the COVID effect. And Renee Young can probably focus on a cookbook, and a lot of rumors and speculations is she might head AEW along with her husband John Moxley to join him. So we'll see on that. We'll see. Also, who else? Roos. Ryback. I'm gonna say Ryback. Ryback had talked to Rowan, and they had a good conversation about Rowan's run against Ryback and the Wyatt family, and Rowan's last stint in WWE before he got released. Take a look.
Expecting everything that happened with that, or that kind of blindside you?
Oh, I mean, it's blindsided for everybody, especially when they're signing contracts to all these people. Be like, "Oh, we want you so bad." Or we're going to sign to this contract, we're going to sign that contract. And then for me, I was used every week. I was used, whether it was bad creative or good creative. Like I had opportunities when my opportunities were good. I had opportunities when they weren't good, and you keep digging away and you keep hoping for the better opportunities. I was there for. But this last run I had my own was the best solo run I had and the worst solo run I had all in the course of a year. So it's like you stick with it because you love the business and you hope they listen to your ideas and you hope something happens. Something does happen. And then it doesn't work out the way you want it because then you're told one thing. And they have a way of slowing people down and getting what they want out of something or with it. And it's just the way it is.
It is. Yeah, no, and that's something that is important. They see I remember you were always booked every week. Even if you were like, when we were like, cause we've done various things together too, storyline wise, and like that we've wrestled when like we weren't involved in storylines, but you were always booked every single week, consistently, and like there's not many human beings like you on that. So I remember when I saw your name on there, that was one. I was like, man, that doesn't really make that much sense. Was everything with you? Because I've been gone for 4 years, and I want to talk about a few different things from our point when I was there with you. But what was your relationship like with Vince and Hunter there, with everything towards the end?
I mean, with Vince, it was fine. Like we'd have conversations and whatnot about like what he wanted for something. But it was weird. It's like the whole course of ever since I got back from my last injury, being told, "Hey, you're not going to be in the Bludgeons no more," and then, "Hey, you're going to be with Daniel Bryan." Okay, that's kind of a step back for me, but Daniel's great, obviously. You learn something from everybody. And then to be thrust into a different spotlight for that was cool. They let me talk finally for the first time since I was in the company. It turned people's heads, and I'm like, oh, I'm still the same guy. I'm just you're giving me a chance to talk and kind of voice out my own frustrations, because it ended up being a character that was being disrespected by the company and overlooked. And I'm like, hey, that's how I was feeling. So it was great. It hit home to me. And then they brought Luke back, and those were genuine feelings in the pay-per-view when he came back. And it was like, yes, this is great. Like, this is a story. And then we had the Hell in a Cell, which we lost. And then there was a draft. And basically, they don't tell you till the day of. And, hey, you're going to this show, and you're going to this show. And for Luke, they just didn't use him. They weren't releasing him at that time, and then finally they let him go. But it was like, it was just weird, because it's like, okay, you put all this energy and investment into me. You had me, finally have a character that spoke and, was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I think I debuted on Raw, like a few weeks later versus Seth, who was the champion at the time, and they had me in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was a fun match. They tried to protect me by doing a forklift finish where they had, I put the forklift down. I mean, it was like a recycled, regurgitated thing, but it was like, okay, well, they got to have some sort of plan for me to have me strong over the champion. And then I think I was in the UK a few weeks later, because I was doing all the house shows and everything, doing main events of the house shows. So I was like, okay, they have plans for where they trusted me to do these things, because they wouldn't have me in that position. And then, here's a cage. And hey, you're not going to talk, or hey, you're going to do baby talk. Like, okay.
For you, it's always been fascinating with me, and again, you can't understand it unless you're in that environment. But you've always had a great attitude. I've always thought you were a great worker, a great, not just a great big man, a great worker, but you've always just done whatever was asked of you, and go out there and you execute, as anyone does. You go and you execute the role, and sometimes you're used and highlighted in good ways, and other times it's odd ways. But it's really, it can be frustrating when you do get certain opportunities and then they're not followed through for no reason, and there's really no explanation. And you're like, well, why did we start this if we're not really there's no. I always talk about it when I do the wrestling show, that there's no real goal with a lot of guys. Like, I feel like if you have a character, you come up with a character, you're gonna do something different, you have a goal in mind from a company standpoint, whether it's Rusev. When Rusev debuted, I just had him on the show last week. And whatever happened, they had him undefeated. We all kind of, I think in the company, everyone kind of felt like he was eventually going to go to John Cena and put Cena over. But in my
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken.
in my opinion, though, that's great, at least for a heel. You come and you're undefeated for a year and a half or whatever it is, a year, and then you have a big blow off. There's a goal, at least for that period with that, and it's a huge payday, and everybody wins, essentially. Whereas other guys will come, and I've seen it with you, and you've had all the success of the Wyatt family, and we're such a huge part of that. And then you and Luke, I love you and Luke together. I've always loved you and Luke together. It's just, to me, I don't know, I just always have loved it personally. I always loved working you guys, but then I've seen that when you have gone off on your own, and we've talked about at different points. I remember, like, when you and Big Show were doing things, it's like you'll get a little momentum and then they'll take it away. But it's not picked back up after that. It's just kind of like, well, this is done. And it's like, well, what are we doing? And I feel like you've always just played your role perfectly. But it's just one of those, the Spider was the same thing. It's like, where are we going with it? And then it just kind of ends. And I've never understood that. Did they, with you, were you ever vocal about any of that? Like what are we doing? Anything or no?
This is the first time in my career I think I was most vocal about things.
Yeah. You've always been very professional.
Yes. And I was professional with how I was vocal about it. It was like, okay, well, what's the plan for the cage? Why am I doing this? And I was told the reason, it's going to be because it's going to be something that's going to, get killed. And it's going to get killed by a babyface, but it'll set up a good feud. Okay, it's going somewhere. And I'm waiting and waiting, and then that never happens. It's like, okay, well, you guys have strung this apart so long. Let me pitch something else, and I would send in a pitch. And
Oh wow, you were actually sending stuff in then.
oh yeah, I was sending it straight to Heyman, and he would relay it supposedly to Vince. Whether that happened or not, I don't know. I'd like to think it did, but who knows? Unless you go directly to the guy himself. But sometimes that and the door's always open. Sometimes it's not possible. And yeah, and I had no problems waiting outside the door and getting in, but when the show gets changed a lot of times and you can't get in that door that day, you're stuck doing what you got to do that day.
And like you say, for people listening, the role that you're in, if you're not in that like top circle, it's really difficult. If you're not being looked over by somebody, it's really difficult to get things changed sometimes. Or like everyone's kind of falls in the same position. And in TV days, and getting all events can be really, really stressful for people listening.
And it's like a thing where it's like, okay, well, then you're told what it's going to be, and then after it's been shown, then I pitch something else. I'm like, okay, well, let's try to save this, and maybe it's not this, but we go this direction, and have a whole character pitch there. And then I think it was the last day I was on TV. Is like, no, we're just going to kill it. And it was the last show I was on was the last live show they did. It was versus Drew, and I was really frustrated at the time. Not only because they built me and built this thing up, they didn't want to use any of the ideas, but because I felt like, okay, well, at least I can work Drew. Drew's awesome. He's going to be working Brock at Mania. I'm like, okay, this will be good, and I can give him something. They're like, okay, no, it's like a 4-minute segment. You guys have entrances. He's going to kill the thing. Okay, well, you want me to stop him? And like, no, you can't punch him. It's like, okay, yes, sir. And I think it was that day I went up to Heyman and I asked him, I said, hey, I feel bad. This cage thing didn't work. I pitched ideas that didn't get through. And I said, am I okay? Like, I couldn't get something to work. And I am very proud about what I do in that ring, whether it was written or not written. And if I can't, make something work, I get really down on myself personally and professionally. And so I straight up just asked him, I was like, am I okay? And he's like, you're in great standing with the company. Last words I heard.
Classic Paul Heyman.
But yeah, I go in there and Drew's great, but I did what I had to do for that thing, and that was the last time I was on TV.
All right, good comment, good segment to show that and stuff that Rowan had a good carefree spirit. And then you may have saw him on AEW Dynamite appeared, and he kind of helped his former tag mate Broly win the TNT TV title. So Rowan part of the Dark Order. Everyone's joining the Dark Order. Dark Order is kind of like becoming a spawn of. They grow like roaches, grow like rats and stuff. More of them and stuff. So, you know how they go. All right. That ends that ends Hot Topics. All right, let's go back to the Pro Wrestling Show predicted outcome for the second half of WWE SummerSlam. The tagline, you didn't see it coming. No one didn't see this coming. As Asuka receiving two championship matches, two single women championship matches in one night. That's the challenge. Now the golden role models between Bayley and Sasha Banks may have to decide who's going to go first. It's going to be a long night for both golden role models, and I know it's going to be a long night for Asuka. If she succeeds in becoming a double champion, that's the feat of what Becky Lynch did last year. So Asuka goes against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Crown title. Man, it just You never would have expected that Oscar. But Oscar won a battle royal, a tri-brand battle royal that was announced. And Oscar went against Bailey the previous Monday on Raw during this tri-brand last week. And Oscar received a match. But I can't see Bailey losing, but I see Bailey cheating. So Bailey's going to cheat the win by the help of Sasha Banks. So look for Bailey to retain her championship because Oscar having 2 belts. If Oscar do win 2 belts, that's going to be shocking. Like, wait a minute. And with Sasha, I can see Oscar regaining the belt back from Sasha for the Raw Women's title. So Oscar gonna lose for the SmackDown Women's title, but she will win for the Raw. So Oscar gonna have a tremendous night. All right. Speaking of that, 2 World Championship matches. The first one is from SmackDown. The Universal Championship is on the line as Braun Strowman, with his new look and new attitude, goes against the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Now, this is the most twisted, uncensored championship match I have seen in my whole life. Where Braun, who was the good guy, now he's the bad guy. And Bray, who was the bad guy, now he's the good guy. And Alexa Bliss is like the Maid Marian in between these 2 monsters, which I didn't even know existed. Now, Alexa Bliss expressed her feelings for Braun, and she had deep feelings for him, but Braun said the Fiend changes me, which he does. He changed Seth Rollins. He changed Finn Balor. He changed Daniel Bryan. I'm surprised he didn't change Goldberg. It's a short, quick match. But he could have changed him too. Now he changed Braun. Changed Braun into this monster who don't care about nobody but himself and his title. So I don't know, because this is torn between the 2. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this to be a non-contest, because I don't see neither Braun nor Bray losing. And someone gonna get hurt in this matter. And I hope Alexa Bliss is not the one in this matter getting hurt. So I look for this being another match next week at Payback. We'll have that next week for our Payback predicted outcome for WWE Payback. I don't know why we having two pay-per-view matches, 2 network specials in the week before each other. But hey, I digress. So look for, I noticed no draw. A draw between no contest, because I see Braun winning, but he'll lose. Braun's gonna lose, but he's gonna keep the title. That's what I'm saying. So Bray, he's kind of fixated with Alexa Bliss, which I never would have imagined him really being, but hey, it is what it is. Also, and finally, what I believe the main event for SummerSlam is for the WWE Championship match on Raw, where champion Drew McIntyre defends his championship against Randy Orton, who's been on a roll ever since he's been going against Edge and having a series of matches and putting Edge out the shelf, putting everybody else to a Big Show. He put Kevin Owens, he put Christian, and now his mentor Ric Flair. And now in the fray with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels appeared to get some scrape with Randy Orton about kicking Ric Flair and kicking him on the dirt. Well, Randy Orton told him, like he said on some tagline, you didn't see it coming. And HBK didn't see it coming. Shawn Michaels got turned to RKO outside and got kicked in the head. And a lot of people are saying Shawn Michaels didn't sell. Didn't sell. He just stood down the ring like he was confused about. I think Shawn Michaels said, fuck it, I'm in business for myself. And didn't want to do it for Randy Orton. But Drew sailed and Drew took it. But Drew McIntyre got a lot on his plate as he defended the honor for Ric Flair and many others who have been under Orton's demise. Edge, Christian, Big Show, Flair, HBK, you name it. Orton trying to just topple all of them and become legend killer. So look for Randy Orton to win and become the new WWE champion. And Drew will get his automatic rematch at Payback the week after. So Randy Orton will be the new champion, new sheriff in town on Raw. All right, that does it for the SummerSlam. Predict the outcome here on the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kid Dick, saying so long, and we'll see you watching SummerSlam. See you later.